bought two levels. So there's level 1 and level 2. So one is normal and one is abnormal. So you get to compare. But that's something you should remember. For every test that we do in the lab, you're going to run controls. Okay, just keep doing that. All right, so it's sediment out. So we're going to mix it, right? So.
Well, for you to do the controls, it takes a whole hour, right? Because you need to go through the whole process.
Right. When you come in the morning, that's the first thing you will do. Just no, don't shake it too hard, right? There you go. If you what happens if you shake too hard? You'll damage the RBCs, right? RBCs, the membrane is very thin, right?
Okay.
And, so you're going to be. You could always use a pipette in there and stir it up. Also, if it's not coming up, but if you do that enough, you will sediment out. So those are like controls. So I'm gonna let you practice with the controls to set it up. Set one up at least. You get to do it in your exam also. So to get blood, how do we get blood to do sedimentation? But you need almost 1 ml of blood, right? So there are different kits that we can buy from different companies, but they're all basically the same thing. The principle is that you fill this up with blood up to the neck right there, see that line? And the device is using pressure, right? So you want to set it on a counter. And actually, there is enough blood. See, this is graduated. And you can look at this. It's up to 140 millimeter mark. So, and it's actually from 0, it's graduated. 0 starts at the top. So if I do that, if I put the blood in here and this is open in the bottom, and I press and do that, what's going to happen?
Capillary action.
Not true capillary action. I'm using force now. I'm going to force the blood up, right? So all of it's going to go and it's going to fill up to the 0 line. So you always start at the 0. You don't want to get bubbles in here. So when you fill this up, you don't want to get bubbles also. Okay? If you get bubbles in there and bubble goes in here, that's not good. Okay? So you want to get a solid column of blood when you do it. And then all you do is let it sit, right? You let it sit like that. You label it, and this will be in there. And then it will settle out. And when you're finished, you just read, right? Where the millimeters, and that's your answer. Okay? It's in millimeters per hour, right? So millimeters per hour is what? It's giving you what?
The sedimentation rate?
Which is what we call that in physics.
Viscosity?
Millimeters an hour, like miles per hour. What is that? The speed or the rate.
Oh. Okay.
Right?
I don't know how much.
Speed is equal to distance over time.
Okay.
Right? Same thing. So we're measuring the rate of sedimentation rate or the speed. Same thing. So is that mixed? All right. So we want to give me a pipette. Pipettes. So make sure that's the first thing is when you. So if we need blood, how would we get blood from a patient to do this? So if the test comes, what we'll do. So I'm just going to stir it up, right? So it's. Where do we get the blood?
You said 10. Can you do a finger stick since it's only 10?
Can you do a finger stick?
No, I don't think so.
It has to be
Venipuncture?
So where would you get the blood?
From the ring.
How about from the CBC tube? It isn't venipuncture, you're right. But I'm
Just
just.
the whole blood?
That's what I'm
Right, we take. ESR is done in hematology. So which tube do you have to use to take blood? The hematology tube, which is
The red.
what color?
The blue one, right?
Sodium citrate.
Did I say blue before?
Wait.
Lavender.
Oh,
All the idiots.
that's true.
Get with the colors, guy. You gotta get with the colors. So your CBC2, you will take that, mix it up, right? And you will do your sedimentation rate. But of course, you have to run controls first, right? Controls, ESR controls are actually run by the day shift in the hospitals. Most hospitals, people come in, they come in like 7 or so in the morning, and they, like these old timers, they're there, they want to beat the traffic, and you always find those guys, right? They want to beat the traffic, so they want to come in at 7 in the morning, and they leave at 3. So they beat the traffic both ways. So you'll find, so they will volunteer to come in and do all the controls that has to be done for the day shift. And, one of them is to do the ESR, the retake, and so on. So they will do all of that. All right, so this is, just to fill this up, like I said, you don't want to get bubbles in here. So give everybody 1, 2. So we're filling it up. You see the neck right there? You don't want to, you gotta be, and you don't want more than that because you're just wasting your blood and you might make a splash or whatever. So, and this will take approximately 1 ml of blood. So when you fill, you wanna make sure you're not gonna get any bubble in here, like I said. So you wanna do this very carefully, right? Starting from the bottom, and right, you're doing that. See what I'm doing? So I'm not getting any bubbles. Okay, that's all I need, right up to the neck. So you're gonna have to do that gently, right? So this, now then comes this device. Now I said I'm gonna plug this in there, right? But I'm not gonna plug it real hard, right? If you do that, then you're gonna get a nice big splash, and you don't wanna get it in your eyes because this is patient's blood. So you want to protect yourself. So I'm going to rest it on that. And all I'm doing, it has a very thin membrane in there. And I'm just going to pop it, right? And it's going to go in, and see? Now I'm just going to, see I'm screwing it in slowly. And I'm putting pressure, and you see it's going up. See that? And that's it. It goes.
You want it up to the top?
Right.
Okay.
See a little bit squirt up there? That's nothing. So that's it starting there at the 0 line.
Okay.
It doesn't fill more than that. It fills up to the 0, and that's it. So whatever it's, if you have too much in here, I see I still have a little bit of blood left in the bottom. That's nothing. Okay? So if you fill up to the neck, that's enough. You don't need to fill it up more than that. So 1 hour starts right now, right? So
What time?
so you'll have to time that for 1 hour. 10 after. Now, in the old days, so if I can show you that, where is my small over here? So in the old days, we used to use these devices. See that? You see how small that? So this is and this is reused. See, it's gradient from 0 to 100. So this will be filled with blood all the way to the top. But the problem is to fill this because it's so small, and if you do it,
Like those up there as well?
yeah, no, that's yeah, those are some old ones. But to fill this up is very difficult. So they give you all a device that this comes with, right? So it's actually fit with that, and then there's a bulb that goes up here. Where is my bulbs? So they're over here. So use one of these bulbs. And to actually carefully, so the bulb goes on top, and you're filling this with blood, and then with this needle, then you put this all the way from the bottom, and you release it out slowly so that you don't get any bubbles in there all the way to the top. And then, so this is reused, it's very cheap, so you buy this once, and these devices are all reused, and then you set it up to the 0 mark and let it sit.
How much is the volume for this, Professor?
100 millimeters.
Okay.
Right? It starts from here, it's 10 millimeters, so this is like 9 centimeters or something, 10 centimeters, right? 100 millimeters, yes?
Okay.
Right. So we're not using this. So it's, you gotta practice with this for a while before you get, and But I saved them. I saved this so you can see what we used to use in the old days. So isn't this much better from step up that you just put the blood in there,
So
and
easy.
10 seconds you're done, and you just let it sit for an hour.
Do third world countries still use those kind of?
Yes,
How
they still
dare
use
you.
that. Who went,
You went like
class. He just came from Pakistan, and they're doing everything manual. He was like amazed at the difference. And in the classroom, he went and see how they teach. It's all manual in the old days. So everybody's there with the Bunsen burner, cooking stuff, and preparing different, boiling urine, and right. But I still have the old things that we used to use, like 20 years ago. We still use some of these stuff. So everybody should take one, right? Do one setup. Take any one of the